Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, the doo-dah day.
Hi there. As you may have noticed, I am not Joe Dog McKeel, and thank you for noticing if you did. Joe won't be with us tonight. Evidently, he has been slowly percolating a rather nasty case of con crud that gave some warning signs yesterday, but hit full blown today. So he won't be with us tonight. Except he'll probably pop in the chat or even pop on screen unexpectedly to make sure that one of us remembered to hit the go live button. Thank you. And on that note, here's John and Dawn and Rich and Joe Bachman. And we
You
are
cannot blame me for
all.
that night. I'm just a pretty face, and I don't have hops.
No, that was me.
I was in the room, though.
Now, for those of you who know, Joe has somehow or another managed to go out and finagle a very interesting guest for HallowCon. Okay. And everybody is really excited about it because Joe said so.
Okay, sorry, I had to do a squeak for that, I guess.
Okay. So, what are we going to play here, Dan? Do we know? Or guessing? Or,
No. The instructions were plain. We play the id vid, and then we cover our ears while Dawn squeeze. And we hope that Chris did not come down with the same concrete because he and Joe Dog were at the same convention.
I had not thought about that.
Yeah, I think about these things.
Nobody
I'm a
listens to me.
grandfather.
I keep telling people if you drink warm Gatorade, it'll help cure con crud. No.
No. I can't drink Gatorade. So
really?
Yeah.
You heat it up in the microwave in a tea glass and drink it like tea. Especially the lemon. Lemon lime tastes just like a good honey lemon tea.
But,
yeah.
No, she can't use my method either.
Hi, Don, McCurry, Carl, Michaela.
Mm-hmm. She can't use my method either because that involves drinking copious amounts of alcohol. So that
don't laugh.
Germs can survive in your bloodstream.
Oh my God! What the hell is that?
Is that a Bucky or a Bella?
That's a laughing puppy.
Wrong button. There we go.
I had cute, and I'm prepared to use it.
Okay, now
is that a Bucky or a Bella?
Is that a rat terrier or a Chihuahua?
This is a miniature pinscher.
Miniature pinscher. Okay, just
it's a min pin.
Very fat miniature pinscher.
Well, actually, he's a very large miniature pinscher.
Oh, so that's Bucky, huh?
He's the Dom DeLuise of miniature pinschers.
No kidding.
Dom DeLuise was deaf?
Not deaf, but he always played the net sharpest tool in the shed.
English bulldogs are like that too. You think they're deaf, but they just start ignoring you. I mean, they're like
They're like cats. They don't care what it is.
As I call him, an ugly kitty. No, you cannot have the mushroom Swiss critter.
Well, you put my face by it, Dad. My sniffer, my ears don't work, but my sniffer does.
Strangely enough, I have brought up the IMDb page for our HallowCon guest, which is actually quite delightful because just
go ahead and play the teaser.
Just some of the stuff he has been in. It's just hilarious.
The amount of work he's done is truly impressive.
Yes.
And Dawn, you're really excited for this. So why don't you introduce the teaser while I hover my finger over the button?
Oh, wait. Let's do this properly. Go ahead, Dawn.
And now, play this teaser.
That was really cool.
Mr. Eddie Beeson will be joining us at HallowCon this year.
Yes. I didn't know he was in Greece. I'm going through. Back in.
I didn't know that was Eugene.
Okay, Dawn's putting 2 ice cubes down your back this year.
Let me see here. Laser Blast, I Want to Hold Your Hand, Grease, Champions Love Story. 1941 with John Belushi. Let's see, Midnight Madness, Stigler and Stegler. I'm not familiar with that one. Homeroom, Grease 2. He was in Grease 2. Oh my.
Yes, Eugene.
Zaps.
Several.
Yeah. Chachi. What was that kid. He was in Grease. He was in Zapped with Chachi. That guy. Yeah. Facts of Life, War Games. Of course, we know that he played the geek at the computer shop. A Polish Vampire in Burbank.
He says that is like the worst movie in the world, and he doesn't suggest anybody watching it.
I've actually seen it. I've actually seen it.
I don't think I've ever seen that one. Now I have to. Let me see here. Magnum PI, Surf 2, The Rosebud Beach Hotel, Punky Brewster.
It was in the first season of that.
Delta Pi, Follow That Bird, The Long Shot, The Fall Guy. Hey, everybody was in The Fall Guy. Let's see, Whoopie Boys, Happy Hour, $1 Million Mystery, Critters 2. I loved him in Critters 2. I loved the Cole Critters series. That's just.
I think $1 Million Mystery, if I remember, he's driving a Volkswagen Thing in that movie.
Ooh, cool. Okay, Assault of the Killer Bimbos. Got to watch that movie just because of the title. Damn. Let's see, Dorf's Golf Bible. Okay, now for those of you who don't know, Dorf was played by Tim Conway, which that's got to be just rolling the floor, funny, hilarious kind of thing.
Bye, Nick, Michaela.
Okay, you see Beverly Hills Vamp, Wedding Band, Monsters, Dan Turner, Hollywood Detective, Hollywood Boulevard 2, Mob Boss, Dorf Goes Racing. He's in another Dorf video. Oh my God. Rockadoodle, Darkwing Duck, Teenage Exorcist. Boy, that sounds. He plays himself, Eddie. Yeah, apparently. Let's see. Goof Troop, Mother Goose and Grimm, Silence of the Hams. Let's see here. Scooby Doo in Arabian Nights. Real Monsters. Eek the Cat, Mr. Payback, an interactive movie. The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes. He plays Agent Tucker. Let's see here. Duckman, Private Dick, Family Man. Spy Hard. Oh, he was in Spy Hard with Leslie Nielsen, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it bad that The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes is the one I actually recognize him from?
And that would be the Kirk Cameron version, not the Kurt Russell.
It wouldn't be the one I watched. Yes.
Yeah. The original was The Computer Wore Sneakers, wasn't it?
No, tennis shoes.
Tennis shoes.
Was it tennis shoes still? Okay.
Yes.
Spy Hard.
I remember it well.
Timon.
It was just a Disney remake.
The animated series.
That was a Disney movie.
The Pink Panther. The Brave Little Toaster to the Rescue. Life with Louie. The Weird Al Show. Well, that's got to be Cow and Chicken, which was, just right up there with Shakespeare as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. Kenny and the Chimp in DZE Does It, or Chimp and Pox.
He was also the know-it-all kid in Polar Express.
Let's see. What a Cartoon, The Lionhearts, The Secret Files of Spy Dogs.
And Mandark in
Yes.
Dexter's
News Traveler,
Laboratory.
Mandark, Executive Mandark, and Overlord Mandark. Let's see. Johnny Bravo, he played Oswald. Let's see, Recess, he was in. He did a lot of these cartoon things.
Mm-hmm.
Pigs Next Door, Cartoon Fridays, Dexter's Laboratory, Science Ain't Fair, Dexter's Laboratory, Mandark's Lab. That's a video game, by the way. Let's see, Codename Kid Next Door. He played Dexter's Laboratory, Oswald, Lloyd in Space, which was another one of those underrated cartoons, by the way. Of course, Polar Express, he played Know-It-All. I can't believe they didn't give him a name in Polar Express. That's just... Polar Express, the video game. What's New, Scooby-Doo? Kim Possible, so the drama. Coconut Fred's Fruit Salad Island. I have never heard of that. I may have to look
That sounds like something you would find in the adult section of Family Video.
No kidding.
I think that's where my first wife found this
Nick
Polish
Jr.'s
vampire movie.
favorite holiday. Cartoon Network Racing. Oh my God, he plays Mandark in the video game Cartoon Network Racing. I have to look that one up too. Kim Possible, Fusion Fall, Chowders, SpongeBob SquarePants, Pound Puppies, A Fairly Odd Movie, Grow Up Timmy Turner. Really? That's live action though. Cool. Handy Manny, I Love You, Eddie Deason. Oh my God, he's got his own movie out. Cool. All I Want for Christmas, Flight Fright, Star versus the Forces of Evil, which is a Disney Channel thing. SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, Transformers, Robot in Disguise. He played Ped. Wander Over Yonder, Cartoon Peepers. Oh my gosh, Commander Peepers. That's probably one of my favorite characters from Wander Over Yonder. He was the only one.
By the time John gets through the list, it'll be almost the end of the show.
That's what I'm working on. Let's see. Actually, there's only 3 more to do. Okay.
I'm ready.
The Love Suckers, not the Green Room, not the Green Room. Okay. Bijou Mike, and last but not least, because it has not come out yet, and it's a short. Let's see. Critters, All You Can Eat. He plays Big Ed. Which I like I said, I'm a big fan of the Critters series, so I would like to see more of that. Actually,
you will have a lot to fanboy over then.
No kidding, and I just don't really get excited about anything. Like I said, if you get excited about something, they put you on the detail.
You'll probably be his personal security guard.
I hated playing prima donna security at conventions. Let me tell you.
That's why we assigned you to Dawn.
That's the one time I was on security. The one time I was on security at a convention and almost got arrested because I threatened to throw a fanboy off of a 5th floor balcony. Okay.
Well, good thing that the Econo Lodge is not 5 floors.
They wouldn't bounce as high.
And that was the floor we were on at the time. But he just would not leave this person alone, and I was supposed to escort her to her panel, and he was just really. So I took him over to by the elevator. We were trying to get on the elevator, and he was just in the. You know what? I love you, and you gotta marry me, and just being a jackass. And so I took him over to the balcony and said, explained to him that you don't need the elevator.
You'll get there first.
Unfortunately, about 150 people in the lobby at the Hilton saw me do it. So that's
it's probably why they keep giving you security details at Dragon Con.
Do it in such a way that you don't have 150 witnesses.
Or 150,000.
On the bright side, our guest at the convention was very impressed that I was willing to do that for her. So.
There you go. So if you don't have your badges, get your badges at HallowCon.com. I'm
Yeah,
not
there you
ready.
go.
Somebody
Right
drop that.
now.
Wait, do we have
Do
that?
that now.
Is it 100,000 witnesses or 100,000 people to corroborate your alibi?
Yeah, well, it's only. Yes. I learned a lot by not. One of these days, I'm going to tell you guys a joke. Okay. And you're just going to love this story. But I can't tell it now because the statute of limitations has not gone out on it. Anyway.
No, but you can tell it to us at HallowCon and during a time where we're not on air.
No, I've promised other people involved I would not discuss this until the statute of limitations has run out. And we can tell it without legal repercussions.
Joe Dog is telling you it's on the banner tab.
Yes, we've already done that.
Well, I'm trying to find, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Boing. Go there
we go.
buy a badge.
That's the email address to email.
Okay, for those of you who don't remember COVID was a very nasty disease that came out of China. Apparently, they were eating chickens and monkeys and orangutans and ocelots. Oh my! Anyway, it basically shut down the country, killed about 1 million people. If you do not go to HallowCon.com and buy that badge,
that's the email address to email.
You
John
will get the next
Joe.
Yeah, you will get the next plague that comes down the path. Okay, and it's going to be worse than COVID. So go buy the badge.
What she's trying to tell you, John, is that's not the link. What she's trying to tell you is that's not the link. That's the email.
That's the Gmail. Why is it on? Why did they put that Gmail up here? Where's the link for the Metrotham? He's got Metrotham Con on here. Like we really need to have that. Let me see. Thanks, Joe. Let's see. There it is. No, that's not it either. Okay. Oh, hang on a second. Nope, that's not it either. Hang on a minute. I'm doing the best I can, guys.
I'm scrolling through it too. I can't figure out Joe Dog's filing system. I mean, seriously.
God damn it. Why did that one have to pop up?
That's what she said.
No. Now I've got to make sure that stays out of my head the next time one of the attorneys just piss me off.
Dick Weasel.
Dick Weasel, attorney at law. What'd you call me?
Joe Dog said it's near the top.
It's near the top. Okay, there we go. Is that? Wait, no. What have I done? Yeah, somebody punching buttons beside me. Okay.
Well, the only other person with ops is right next to you.
I am not. There are 3
people. Joe, Don, and I don't have ops.
Do not put that evil on.
Not me. Head check.
Got it. There. Here's a round of applause for you, even.
Okay, there we go.
Oh.
In my defense, I've been drinking.
Equilateral triangle.
In my defense, we're trying to hunt through Joe Dog's file system.
No kidding.
Give the kid a break.
Inside the mind of Joe Dog.
Think about what you just said, Dan.
I meant
a break.
Right, Joe Dog?
Oh, no, I give John a break.
Okay. That I can live with.
Okay.
Give him a
I've been out doing gardening. I've been out in the bright sunshine doing gardening, and now my eyes don't work.
I was gonna say you look a little more rosier than usual.
It's
than usual. And thank you, Don. I did see that, and I appreciate the shout out.
Thank you, Nick. I say I'm appreciated by somebody around here.
And I want to thank Michaela for checking in, however briefly it was while we were so busy.
Okay, I did not. Where's Michaela's? I don't see a Michaela.
She was. She
in the chat.
was
Oh wait,
in
way
the
up there.
chat
Darn, yeah. That's how come nobody threw that up there?
because we were busy talking and
I
showing
said hi to her.
videos. And
Because
Wait, there's the
Joe,
one.
Don, and I don't have ops.
believe me, if we had 5 people clicking buttons here, the show would look like Joe Dog was running it alone.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
And it's already interesting enough when you got Dawn and I
Get
trying
out
to
of my
do
head,
stuff on
Dan.
my own show.
And then when I sneak in and I start pushing buttons too, just for the hell of it.
Joe's got con crud. Okay, not this Joe, but Joe McKeel. Has got con crud from going to the con over the weekend. Okay, supposed to be in bed, getting rest, watching the show, and doing commenting and serving in the show.
He's still trying to be a director. Some
Oh,
folks
you guys are
never
getting
learn.
that.
Hey, and this previous comment by Nick Tockert explains all of it. Except I don't think that one should have been aimed at John.
I'm sorry, I do like that one, and it wasn't so much. It wasn't so much the tag as Rich's reaction to it.
Dick Weasel. Actually, I think it would be funnier if it said Dick Weasel Esquire.
Now, wait a minute. Okay. For those of you who don't know about StreamYard, they give you this. They give you this batch of what are called stupid banners, and needless to say, there's all sorts of them. You know, like this stupid stuff like that. Okay. Joe has gone and filled these things up with all sorts of stuff, and to give you an example of how much crap the rest of us have to wade through to make this show work. Okay. This is one of the banners that he has on the StreamYard thing. Okay.
I have questions, but I don't think I want to know the answers.
Don't ask Joe Dog any questions. You'll get an answer.
Oh, Joe, thank you for not putting me through that and having that much stuff on the background when we do your shows. I appreciate it.
Exactly. Okay.
We may not kink shame, but we do kink
Let
question.
me show you some of the ones I put up here. Just because there was this one night that Donna came in and smacked Joe in the back of the head with a book or something. I can't remember.
Hold that thought. Joe Dog, not a
So I
snowball
threw this
chance
one
in
up.
hell.
Okay. Which was rather appropriate at the time, you know. And let me see.
I think
now we
Nick's
got
in the green room.
There's this one from Metrothemcon. I don't know why that's up here.
Oh, well, what's his name?
I don't know why he's got the Gmail for HallowCon.
Well, okay, so Keith was on a couple weeks ago, Metrothemcon. I can't say that, but you know what I mean. And I think that was just in case somebody has questions. I think there was somebody that wanted to know about vendor information.
Okay, well that makes sense, sort of. Okay.
The saddest part is that I understand Joe Dog's reasoning on. Why
do we have to have that on? I mean, if you're here, you're here.
I think he flashes that up when we don't realize that he's in the background and just listening.
Joe Dog, there's not enough alcohol on the little thing behind me over here to make me want to look that up.
Now, this one, on the other hand, is actually kind of cool because this is from Hellraiser. Okay.
Yeah.
Where did this come from? Because that looks like something I'd throw up there. But is that a Gibbs rule, or is that?
Is that Gibbs rule?
I think that is a Doctor Who rule, actually.
I think that might actually be actual Rule 39 of the internet.
Oh.
At least it ain't Rule 34. Yes.
Rule 69.
Rule 34 states that if it's on the internet, there's porn of it. Okay. There is a porn version. Okay.
Nope. One cat leads.
I did not do that. I did not do that.
Although I liked our April 1st version, Joe Bachman, of
Why is this? Two goldfish were sitting in a tank together. One turned to the other and asked, "Do you know how to drive this thing?" Why is that a banner?
Believe me, I do not have a long enough life expectancy to understand the mind of Joe Dog.
Here's another Rickroll one. This is actually part 1. I already showed part 2, so that's Let's see here. What we got?
He doesn't have any of the biscuit though, does he? Taste the biscuit.
Okay, here's another one. Okay, getting coffee. Be right back. Okay, yeah. Okay.
That might be.
That might have been mine.
No, I think I threw that one up there. That's excellent. Okay. And then now this one, I think Joe put this. I may have put that up there. One of us did because Joe.
Well, that one has some truth to it, though, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Apparently, we're banned in 49 countries.
Okay.
Mainly because we used to show the American flag at the start of every show, so 49 countries banned us right off of that.
Darn.
Well, they only had 3 people with internet in each country, so who cares?
Oh, no. Okay, Dan, let me set this straight. Most of the countries that I served in the military didn't have great infrastructure. Okay, Germany being the exception. Germany has really great infrastructure. But you went to Iraq, they didn't have a lot of infrastructure. A lot of the villages and towns don't even have electricity run out to them. They have to have their own generators. They run diesel generators, and every night around 11 o'clock, they turn off the generators. They don't turn the generator back on until 5 in the morning to save fuel. So anyway, most of their phones in those countries are cell phones. And it's kind of funny. You'd be driving down the freeway, you look over, you'll see a village full of mud huts where they've made out of mud bricks with a satellite dish on them. It's just, they've got the technology. They just, doing what they do.
No, Nick, we need eyes where we're going, but the rails, they just never existed.
Feeling better about my banners now?
Hey, Joe Bachman.
Joe.
Oh, why are you here so early?
No, go back to the one before that. He didn't see it, I don't think.
No.
Or not the one.
Oh, wait.
Nick's
what am I looking
comment.
at?
Why have I got
Nick's comment. Joe Bachman, feeling better about my banners now?
Oh, your banners are easy, Nick. It's your list of all the damn ads that don't have a proper naming convention. Such as your opening intro that's called Nick Temp 2022.
Yeah.
This scroll is mine.
Yeah.
Because I am a very extreme Frank Zappa fan.
Ooh, who put that one up there? Because that's actually informative. Because that's kind of cool.
Who was the oldest?
I don't know, but Debbie Harry's still cute.
Who would be the oldest to ever do Coachella?
Who's
Tina
Googling?
Turner? Has Tina Turner ever done Coachella?
Or Dolly Parton.
Yeah, no.
Did she do Coachella? I don't think she did Coachella. There's that one. Okay. We'll turn it off.
Calypso Rose makes history as at age 78 as Coachella's oldest performer.
All right.
What the hell is that?
Amazon.com.
Something.
It doesn't look familiar.
I'm getting rid of that damn thing.
Go right ahead. If it's confusing, there's no reason for it to be there. Plus, that means I can add something else.
The Ross 248 project. That's got to be somebody we know that did a book for Bane. Who the hell?
Yeah, but we know so many people that do books for Bane.
No kidding.
I mean, that's got to be like a third of LibertyCon.
We have a Pink Floyd quote. Oh, come on. That's
yeah.
Okay. Not that that's a bad. I think I threw that.
I wonder if that was when Lewis was doing something, maybe.
Oh, it could have been, yeah.
When he was in Hawaii.
Yep.
Let's see what else we got here.
Thank God I'm
Russ
around
Johnson
here.
and
I
Ken
remember this
Rowan.
time.
Roy.
Okay, that one. Okay, that's kind of.
No, we gotta keep that one. We don't
248
care about being monetized. Come on, Judy.
Les Johnson.
Okay, that one's kind of cool. All right, we'll keep that one. Let me see. You feel free to leave a comment. What was this?
So when Joe Dog gets con crud next time, what are we cleaning out?
Good question.
I refuse to answer that question
Hey.
on the grounds.
Okay, yes.
I want to
That
be a BPA.
Yeah, because we got kicked off of Facebook one time for something that got done. So,
Yep.
let's see. Now, I'm not getting rid of this one.
Hell no. You get
That's
rid of that one, I will be
What
mad
is
at you.
this up here?
I don't have the
Refresh.
faintest idea.
Guess
Not
what?
even refresh. It was refresh.
Everybody say trash can. Okay, trash can.
Trash.
Okay.
Really?
Now, why is this up here? Everybody say trash can.
No, that was there.
What is this?
No. This one has to stay because sometimes we actually do need it.
The lawyers say it has to stay. Okay.
No, Les Johnson is a scientist that goes to LibertyCon quite regularly there, Nick.
If he's who I think he is, he's been in a couple of Stephanie Osborne novels. So,
well,
But did you guys? Read the
Wasn't
name.
Les on the show a couple of times too?
I think he
possibly.
has appeared at once. It's not.
'Cause wasn't he discussing
He was. I do believe he was on, and I asked him about updates to the solar cell project.
Oh, that's
you know,
and
you and I
yeah.
think of the same person.
he has been in a couple of Stephanie Osborne novels. Okay.
Well, so have I. Believe it or not.
That had to have been when you fell
Yeah, I
asleep.
think we probably need to hang on to that one.
Yeah, we gotta keep that one, Dan. Sorry.
Hey.
Did I write
No, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, we got
It's a header night. I'm Carl.
Test stream, please ignore.
I think he
Carl,
might use that one for.
Now this is one I'm shocked that Joe doesn't use this more often because we did actually have a bunch of stuff. I still need to get an armchair rocket science worm crawl coffee mug. So
Hey.
I need to get the stupid o'clock T-shirt to wear at HallowCon because
If Teespring will let you add multiple items to the checkout and only pay one shipping instead of shipping on each individual item.
They don't have a cart.
Yeah, they have a cart,
You have
but
to sign up to get a cart.
I don't know. You might have to sign up to get a cart. All I know is when I went to order some stupid o'clock stuff, they wanted to charge me shipping on every single item individually instead of, hey, it's one store. Can I please just get a slightly larger box with everything in it? Quiet, Dawn.
That would require them to buy multiple boxes.
Good if you tell him that one on, be better, Dan.
I'm thinking
This
fun
one said
size.
10
that's all.
kids. This one said 2. No. Sorry.
Carl,
There
I'm
goes
just
the
stuck in-
monetization for the show. Oh, wait.
Well,
Never
already
mind.
we're
We
not
weren't.
looking for monetization.
Oh,
You
no.
know,
We
Joe
never
already
had a
said
chance to
Joe.
be monetized.
When Joe
What are
first
bond
started the
boxes,
show,
Nick? I gotta ask. And if Carl's having a header night, never mind.
oh, go away. Okay, there we go.
Carl, shut up. I'm choking over here.
Okay.
If Carl's having header night, we would salute him, but he's already doing enough
I would
saluting on his own.
That's the one we were actually looking for at the beginning.
Yeah. I don't. We've got several green room signs. I made 4.
Well, then we have the original that Rich will hold up at this moment.
Yeah, and we've got a not a screenshot. We've got the one that Rich made that is actually uploaded. We got
The
the one
stand,
that I
yeah.
made for Uncle Carl,
All right, and that is all of them.
which is one of his Mad Gasser ads, but a still shot from it that not the green room. Got one that I made for Thesis, which is in Chinese. And then we got the other one, which is just green with plain text.
There's a green one with pink, and that's Nick because he wanted the pink.
Let's see.
Joe, I thought you had a cigar there for a second.
So far, this keyboard has been very durable.
That reminds me.
Nicholas. As if. What are you going to do? Delete the channel?
Yes.
Only about one person on the face of this planet can make me behave, and she's been dead a decade.
There's a close second in the room next to you. Shortly.
No, she doesn't get me. She tries to get me to behave, and she doesn't succeed.
I am on Wikipedia, and I am reading Eddie Deasing's. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hate mispronouncing names, but let me see. I was reading his Wikipedia entry, and he was raised Jewish. He was a class clown in his youth.
Surprise, surprise.
Stand-up comedian. Appeared on the Gong Show. Only to be gonged by singer-songwriter Paul Williams. Damn you, Paul Williams! Damn you to hell! And let's see here. It talks about all the movies he was in, independent films, voice acting. But interesting, he was
Joe Dog. Not with this group. You do not say something like that and give us that straight line in this group of people.
See, he lives in Cumberland, Maryland. Damn Yankee. He is a fan of the Beatles. Let's see here. He has a strong interest in pop culture trivia. He's a big fan of Mental Floss, the pop culture trivia website. He's a baseball fan, American history, and classic comedy like Three Stooges, the Marx Brothers, and Martin and Lewis. Although he was raised Jewish, he became a Scientologist after being introduced to it by John Travolta. Well, of course, they were in Greece together. So, oh, wait a minute. He stopped being a Scientologist in 2012.
Smart
and
man.
then in 2023, he claimed to be a Catholic. Well, he's just all over the place religiously.
Hey, everybody got a right to experiment. I mean,
that's true.
I believe the Scientologists also try to crucify him because of his issues that he had. And I only partially mean that metaphorically.
I understand.
And then they go into all the darn films and television he did. And then
Oh, you're a helicopter?
That I believe that's the fan that's in my window. It's getting
Okay.
and making wobbly sounds.
Okay. Also, I'm like, I got really quiet. I'm like,
No, I can't stay in one place for too long, so I have to do the show from a helicopter.
oh, I know.
Incoming.
I love it when the police show up at my house and I'm not there because I'm. It's okay.
Oh my God, the tunnel worked.
It's all because that one time he was playing with Sirius, buddy.
One.
The one
No,
time they know about.
I'm not saying you only played with it one time. Just that one particular time that you were playing with it that they're concerned about.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of funny. There is a watch list out there for anybody that is skilled with explosives. They put all the military people skilled with explosives onto a list. And I think at last count, it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 million people on the list. So, yeah.
So you ain't that special, John.
No, I'm not that special.
Really? I mean,
And the really funny part is it goes by region. So if a bomb blows up someplace, the FBI can bring up the database and say, we need everybody that's skilled with explosive within 500 miles of this location. Okay. The Tennessee National Guard has 2 engineer units plus the EOD units that are in and about the state here. So there's roughly within 500 miles of my location, maybe 15,000 people. Now you know why the president doesn't campaign in the South.
And my cousin Jeff with the 9 nuclear missiles.
Oh, for those of you who don't know, there are, if I'm not mistaken, 4 official special forces units in the United States. Okay. A lot of them are at Fort, it used to be Fort Bragg, but the woke Hoovians, whatever they are, changed the name to Fort Liberty or something like that because they didn't want it named after a Confederate general. Anyway, you got 5th and 7th are out there. I can't remember where the other ones are, but there is a Special Forces National Guard unit stationed in Birmingham. I believe their headquarters is in Anniston, Alabama, somewhere in that area. So strangely enough, we got so many people in this neck of the woods that know how to use explosives. It's not even funny.
Oh, good God, that reminds me. I've got to find out what my mother ever did with that box of thermite my dad had. No, seriously.
I heard Israel is conducting an airstrike on Iran within 5 or 10 minutes ago. I can't find it. I will look into that, Paul, real quick, because I have sources in the Middle East. Hang on a second.
I think that was the reason that Joe Dog said something about not talking about the goat from Iraq.
I'm innocent this time.
First time for everything.
Wait. Go back one. Darn it. Okay. Al Jazeera says nothing on the source.
I trust them more than CNN.
There I am. Me and you sitting in the same pew. Okay. Reuters has nothing on it.
Oh.
Donna. Other Donna.
Thank you, Donna. Paul, there is somebody on YouTube that has been posting video game footage of people playing games and claims it is breaking news from the Middle East. This may be one of those times.
Sky News has nothing. So, let me see. Let me see if Jerusalem Press has anything.
We've covered a couple of continents here. And Joe Dog.
Oh, wait a minute. This just in. From I'm on the Jerusalem Post website. Alleged Israeli strikes reported in Iran, Syria, and Iraq. Why are they hitting Iraq? Did Iraq shoot some? I had not heard anything about
They
it.
were there. They were home.
Well, you do have to go over Iraq to get to Iran from Jerusalem or Israel in general. So maybe they took out an Israeli or an Iraqi air defense, something or other. So, which is not nice, but maybe necessary. Okay. I will. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Let me see if I bring this news story up here. I will put it on the Stupid O'Clock group. Let me see here. Come on, you. There we go. Come on. Oh, wait, you go away. Why am I getting 5 of them? Sometimes I hate that Facebook button. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to do this in the roundabout way because for some reason, these Facebook buttons will not let you go straight. It won't let you post to a group.
For some reason, I am no longer getting updated comments on the iPad YouTube app. So, experiment.
Okay, there we go. I posted my page, personal Facebook page, and then I posted it to Stupid O'Clock from there because. Let's see here.
And there's Paul.
Hey,
Yes,
Paul.
I can still reply to comments. I can't read them on the iPad. So yes,
Paul.
I can still reply to comments. I can't read them on the iPad. So yes,
Paul.
I can still
hold on a minute.
I can still reply to comments. I can't read them on the iPad. So yes, I can still
hold on a minute.
I can still.
So
I thought I turned that off. It was still running.
What?
You had
Darn
an
it,
infinite
Paul.
loop of my voice. How awful for you. I apologize.
I won't report if I say something. It won't be because I saw it from I know about the YouTube fakes. I heard it from somebody who doesn't report things lightly.
Unfortunately, the reason I found out was because somebody fooled me.
Yeah.
It was one of those, hey, breaking news, here's something live from the Middle East. And I'm going,
I always try to delete those pages from my Facebook, and
I have started to, believe me.
And report them for stupidity.
Oh, unfortunately, that's not a taxable offense. So
I'm starting to look like Moses.
Wait a minute.
Here.
See, Reuters has one, says Israeli army releases video said to show strikes against Hezbollah targets in Lebanon, but that's not the same thing. I posted the Jerusalem Times link to Stupid O'Clock. I will post it here somewhere. I will put it. Can Paul see private chat? Do we know?
Yeah.
We've added him.
I will put it in private chat real quick. And anybody else wants to see it, of course.
You guys are on the same time. Well, just as in the last
Eastern.
hour.
Yeah, we're Eastern. Yeah.
Well, I mean on the last hour of the show, I watched Tim Pool. He's actually pretty reliable, and he was during his live show. Somebody mentioned it, so and he's got people all over the world watching him. So
I have there's this woman that I follow. Not the green room.
I follow plenty of women.
She used to do these really great videos in and around Ukraine back in the day. And one of the things she did, and I used to do this as one of my military classes, she did a tour around Chernobyl back when that was hard to do.
Okay. Hey, Donna.
And I used to use her videos to show people what the Chernobyl exclusion zone actually looked like because she had really good video. And
hey Josh.
But She lives right outside Kiev in Ukraine. And I used to follow her page all the time because she had really good video coming out of Ukraine about all the Russian atrocities that were going on around there. People would send it to her and she'd put it on the internet. I don't know how she's managed to keep internet, but apparently she's a lot more computer savvy than I am.
Mm. Dawn, I think this one is for you.
I know, that's why I smiled. I saw it.
I have a friend in Romania. He's in a border city by Ukraine. And what at the beginning of the when the Russians were doing their airstrikes and stuff, he could see right across the border the airstrikes in Ukraine.
And I'm not going to tell everybody who my friends were in Russia and Belarus that were derailing trains. I won't mention their names, but let's just say they were patriots before it was cool to be a patriot. So,
well, there's a lot going on with Romania. Their people are pretty upset, and in some surrounding areas. And my friends like talking about everybody's really pissed at the U.S. and the EU. Romania wants out of the NATO and the EU. They want out bad. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with all that, but he was showing me some videos that one of his friends showed him of soldiers in somewhere nearby, U.S. soldiers, and they were pissed. They're pissed. They don't want us there. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's not going to be pretty, I don't think.
Well, I think the biggest problem with Ukraine is that if Russia does take Ukraine, who's next? They're not going to stop at Ukraine.
Well, no, I think Vladimir, Zelensky, and Putin were going to negotiate to let him have a certain amount of Ukraine. And the Boris whatever in UK, he had a meeting with him and somebody here. I guess it was kind of Biden putting some pressure on somebody else to come over there, and they put pressure on Zelensky to not do that. They wanted a war. The U.S. and the UK wanted this war with the Ukraine and Russia. So I don't want to sound pro-Russian, but I've got Russian friends too, and I get different perspectives on all of this stuff. And I don't think the right thing happened, and it's just making things worse. And now Russia said that if Israel strikes Iran, and we help Israel after they strike Iran, then Russia is going to step in on that too.
With what?
I don't know. Russia's not. I mean, so they're throwing away like old equipment and stuff at Ukraine. They've got more stuff. We know they have.
Of course they do, but they've got a border that's 20,000 miles around their country that they have to guard from everybody else they've pissed off over the centuries. And
and if they weaken themselves enough, they've got to worry about China.
Exactly, and all the other
deals with China too, though.
Yeah, maybe it's. Don't laugh if if they weaken their border near North Korea. I fully expect North Korea to take some of their territory just because everybody wants a piece of Russia these days.
Well, Russia's selling lots of oil to China, so I don't know if China wants to risk that. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, China doesn't want Russia going into the Middle East and pissing off Iran, because I imagine there's oil coming out of there too.
No, Russia and Iran are traditionally allies. Well, I mean, not necessarily. It's been
since
back
the
and forth.
Ayatollah took over, they're sort
back
of
and forth.
allies.
Yes, it was back and forth. But during Reagan, it flip flopped a little bit.
Well, the reason was we used to have bases in Iran, just for sending reconnaissance flights into Russia because they share a border, fairly close. And when the Shah was deposed, Iran, we lost those bases, so we don't get to fly SR-71s and U-2s out of Iran anymore.
Right.
And haven't for 50 years, And Dan, oh, okay, he said he was going to do something. Okay, and now, right now, I think the main thing the United States would like to do is bleed the Russian military as much as possible, so that they just don't have striking capability any longer.
Well, we're bleeding ourselves to death too on that one.
Maybe, but I think we have the best. It's something we've always had. That
just look at our reserve fuel. Where's our reserve fuel gone?
That's one
prices.
That's one thing I've said for a long time is we need to get away from foreign fuel. Okay, just plain simple.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
we've got enough oil under our feet.
Exactly.
Not including Alaska. We've got enough oil to last 1,000 years.
And there was a time when I was stationed in the Gulf, and I'd come home, and I'd go to the gas pump, and the gas prices kept going up. I felt like I was funding terrorism every time I put gas in my car. It's just like
yeah, kind of. Well, I'll tell you something else. In the 70s during Carter and the gas crisis,
yeah, I remember.
My mother was dating a truck driver. He drove a tanker. There was no gas shortage. Yeah. They had those big tanks you see in industrial parks and stuff. Those were full. They had no room to put any more gasoline in those tanks, and oil, and then all the tankers. The tanker drivers were getting upset because there weren't any more tankers left empty, because they had to park them loaded with oil at these places, and they couldn't empty them. So there was no shortage. That was artificial. That was completely artificial.
Probably, yeah. And that the mob was involved. Don't laugh. That was when they came up with that.
Oh no, I wouldn't doubt it.
There was a big scam up in New York, New Jersey area where they would buy a gas station. Okay. And they would sell gasoline and collect the tax money, but they wouldn't pay the taxes to the government. And the government keeps sending them letters, hey, you owe us taxes, hey, you owe us taxes. So they do this for about a year and then go bankrupt at that gas station and keep all that tax money that they had been collecting off the gasoline. And no, that was a big mafia scam for a long time. So they had to bump up their gasoline regulation. That's where a lot of that came from. So, and then the Teamsters, with all the truck, like you said, all the truck drivers sitting on top of that stuff because nobody was unloading it or, hoarding the oil or whatever. Don't get me started on the Teamsters. There's a reason Jimmy Hoffa disappeared.
Oh well, I used to drive a truck too. I drove a truck in the 90s from about 95 to 2000, and truck drivers were funny people. They would always talk about. Well, I mean, not just funny, haha, but funny, peculiar. They would always talk about, oh, we're going to all pull over and strike and blah, blah, blah. And you could get a few people to do it, but you couldn't get anybody to do it nationwide. The Teamsters and those people, they were like trying to push for strikes and stuff. And they wouldn't even do it. They'd let the owner operators and stuff pull off the road, and then they'd keep running. So it was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
Canada, a couple of years ago, when the truckers got together in Canada, that's the only time I've ever seen that many truckers get together on a single issue. Ever. I
remember a while back, the Teamsters were trying to get something like that going along where they were going to strike and shut down the nation's highways. And, of course, nobody could afford to. So the truck drivers just kept driving. So you started hearing about all these people taking pot shots at trucks that were driving down the freeway from the side of the road. They'd shoot at them with a deer rifle or something. and they tried to say it was union truckers shooting at non-union or something like that. And in reality, it was mafia types shooting at trucks to try and get everybody on par with the Teamsters and all this other stuff.
Unions are so crooked. I was in UAW, and it was the most crooked bullshit.
They are, there's a big thing here in Chattanooga. We got a Volkswagen plant. They're not union. And there's so much union crap. It looks like Soviet propaganda. It really does. Like, you have to join the union and we'll turn it into a union paradise. We'll turn it into a worker's paradise. And it's like, and it's funny. They keep talking about how all these people at the Volkswagen plant, Chattanooga, want the union and the people that are working there are like, no, we're fine. We didn't say that. Who said that?
About when the unions start going into factories. I was in a factory.
Night, Rich.
Because somebody handed me a flyer, I got fired. And I'm like, I don't even want in the union. They said, no, you're gone. And I'm like, yeah, they were coming in trying to unionize this little factory in Tullahoma, Tennessee. And, of course, the little factory didn't want anything to do with it. And I told them, look, I've been in unions before, and I hate unions. I don't want any union. And they said, well, you got that flyer. You must be wanting something about the union. They just handed it to me.
You know what you should have done?
Weird shit.
You know what you should have done? Handed the flyer to the manager and said, you're fired too. Let's go.
Well, I had wife and kids to take care of. I'm like too flabbergasted to I'm like, what the hell just happened? They love me.
Yeah. Well, like Josh said, they haven't built a decent refinery since the 70s. Of course, all the ones they got now are like the experimental ones, the fracking refineries and stuff like that. Kind of cool. But of course, they're always improving those things. They're always adding this and taking away that, blowing up this. Oh. Did I say that out loud?
Oh, what? I didn't hear a damn thing.
What did you see in the Middle East? I think it was, I can't remember where it was, a month and a half ago. A bunch of guys were just out in the desert, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the desert, oil just blew up out of the ground.
It's kind of funny.
It was a river of oil. They didn't know what to do. There was a video of it. They're running. We can't stop it.
When I was stationed in Iraq, we had to go up to this one village, and it's way up in the hills, way up in the middle of nowhere. They were having a problem, and they wanted to come out and check on it. So we're driving up there, and as we're driving up this dirt road to get to this village, you look over in the ditches on the side of the road, there's oil coming up at where they've gone in with a road grader to grade out this dirt road and hit oil. Like 8 inches, 6 inches under the ground as they were grading a new road.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We got to the village, and it turns out it's kind of funny. They had come to us and they said, we need a water well drilled.
Yep.
Like, did we just drilled you one last year? What happened? He looked around, make sure nobody's listening. He goes, we struck oil. So we had to go up there and check on the oil. And that was the problem is if somebody found out they hit oil at this village, the bad guys would go in and kill everyone in that village and take over the property to get the oil. So we had to go in and help pull security for them so that they could drill water. They couldn't. The village couldn't exist if they didn't have water. Oil was the least of their problems.
Right.
And it was kind of fun. When we got up there, we started talking to them. That village had been there. Said, they don't know how old that village was. That's how old that village was. It had been there for forever. I mean, it's like, Moses, came through and smacked a rock and water came out, that sort of thing.
Or in this case, oil came out, which wasn't any good to anybody.
we were searching an outbuilding one time in its farm, and I told my guys, "Hey, be careful with the furniture. You know, Jesus used to be a carpenter, and that may be an important chair." You know, and so
Wow.
he used to hang around this part of the world back in the day.
Really?
And,
Yeah, Jed Clampett.
do not. And oh, there was oil stuff. There were nights they had this big oil. The base we were at was in a little city called Tuz Kermadu, and you can look it up on the internet on Google Maps. It's about 50, 60 miles south of Kirkuk. Okay, and up on the hill there was an oil facility up on the hill, and we stayed away from it because it was heavily guarded. We didn't need to worry about that damn thing. But they had an oil flare over the wells, about 150 feet high tower. There were nights when that oil flare would be going, like 2 o'clock in the morning. You'd go out and sit up on top of the bunker with a paperback book and read by the light from that oil flare about 10 miles away. Because there was like flame coming out of it going like 300 feet in the sky. And if it was a cloudy night, the whole horizon was lit up. So, you know, there was oil everywhere over there. And so, yeah, there's a reason they sell oil.
They got too much of it.
No kid. Trying to get rid of the crap.
Hey, Josh, I think it's kind of heading towards Carl and Donna now, but I'm not sure for sure. I know they said they were getting a storm of some sort.
Yeah, I've got to get started on dragging the railroad ties to where the well house is so that I can disassemble the well house and put up the larger one where I can actually stand up and redo all the plumbing inside there from the pump to the supply to the house, which right now I either have to take the roof off the existing doghouse-sized well house and stand on my head to do, or put up this little tin shed that I bought that's big enough for me to stand up in and redo all the pipes inside so that I can change the filters, because the filters need to be changed. They desperately need to be changed. The groundwater here is just thick with Georgia red clay, and those filters are totally stopped up. We don't have any water pressure. I just paid almost $2,500 to have a new pump put in, and we don't have any water pressure because all the filters in line are clogged up with mud. They need to be. I need to be able to get to them and change them about every 1 month to 3 months, maybe. And it's just I can't lift the roof off the damn thing anymore. It's just I'm almost 70 years old. I can't lift that kind of weight anymore. I mean, yeah, used to I could bench press a Buick, but nowadays, no, I'm a little bit beyond my prime. So I got to have all the advantages that I can. If anybody ever discovers a way to turn the red Georgia mud into a cash cow, let me know. I got plenty for you.
Start a brick business.
Hey, don't tempt me. I'm still trying to get everything. I'm still trying to get everything together so we can have a greenhouse and have tomatoes and onions and peppers and whatnot that Lindsay can make salsa out of that the bugs don't all eat. Oh, hey, Chris. How you doing?
Hey, Chris.
I hope you did not get the same con crud that Joe Dog did, although I know you were at the same convention talking to the same people and whatnot. But It really hit Joe Dog hard. He was actually threatening to shut the show down because we cracked a Joe Dog joke, and
Just one.
6 dozen in a row. I didn't do that.
John's around.
John still has ops when he's off screen. Ooh, that was another 1.8 acidity beer, wasn't it?
Something like that. We were talking about this earlier.
I schooled John. I had to Google it, but I schooled him.
12 fluid ounce, of course, 5.3% alcohol by volume. Okay. 8 IBUs. We're like, what the hell's an IBU? So she looked it up. Turned out it's a bitterness, index of bitterness units or something like that. The higher, the more bitter the beer. So, of course, this got lemon zest in it, so it tends to be slightly better.
Unfortunately, our plans of being on the show have been altered by reality. Don't have concrete, thank God. Think it's just allergies, everything. Oh God, yes, I know. I wake up, I spend the first 2 hours of my waking life every day blowing my nose and trying to drink my coffee before it gets cold. Carl says the storm is getting closer.
Just a poltergeist.
Ooh, the storm is rising.
It's just a poltergeist.
No, it's not a poltergeist. It's fucking thunderstorm.
If I don't get some shelter.
Carl's already made deals with the poltergeist. They play with the cats while he sleeps. Tossing the little kitty toys around the house, which Carl has to rake out from under furniture later on. Oh, Lindsay gave me a dirty look because I haven't gotten into any of the food that she's prepared for me for the night.
We're supposed to get thunderstorms sometime tonight too. We have to go out and shut everything down.
I think we're not supposed to get any rain until Sunday, which means I got to get those railroad ties drug over to the Wheelhouse Foundation area before Sunday, and I don't know that my lawnmower has enough horsepower to tow them over there, but if the lawnmower don't, my van does.
We're supposed to start getting isolated thunderstorms about 2. They say we're getting 75% chance of thunderstorms at 4. So
they brought me a mouse earlier in the week, but this morning one of them brought me an old Werther's candy. I hope it was still in the wrapper. Otherwise, it's going to make a mess on the carpet. Especially if it has already passed through one of the cats by the time you got it.
okay. Let me see. I'm going to throw this up here just because Dawn, this is headed your way, darling. Let's see here. Go with that. There we go.
I've got some thunder.
Ooh. That do not
That's
look fun.
past us. That's what was going over us. And
where are
that's
you
Like it
located,
should be.
Dawn?
what?
Where are you located? What city?
Peoria. So it's past us now.
Yeah, it's over the top of me in Northwest Indiana.
Oh,
I
there's
was saying, it looks like it's hitting like about ready to hit BKM and Nick, and if you would quit moving it for a second, and I think that one line is going right over Carl.
Yeah.
Donna.
Yeah, that Carl just said that. It's that one line is right over them.
I might see
So,
some of that. tomorrow.
Well, that explains why I was kind of today too.
Let's hope the wind is moving not quickly enough to rip the roof off, but quickly enough to get the storm out the way. God, that sounded very redneck. My accent really comes out at the weirdest times.
Huh.
Yeah, there's not an awful lot down here now, but it's supposed to be by Sunday, so we shall see.
I don't know. Looks like you're going to get some heavy stuff here in the next half a day.
Well, they said Sunday, but that's going way south of us. I'm in Athens, near Athens, anyway. And usually by the time the severe weather comes along, it's already exhausted itself going over Atlanta, going, I hate you, and dumping rain and whatnot over them. And then by the time it gets to us, the local geography goes, oh, sorry, you have shields. It just kind of circles around this. That's why the next door neighbors, 2 houses down, got hit by a tornado, and we didn't. Because something in the natural landforms here directs severe weather around the house. I wonder how that works on sandworms.
All right. So, if I can get some people's opinions on stuff real quick.
Okay.
Anybody
Your wife is absolutely gorgeous.
Anybody
Anybody
who saw Behind the Code Monday night knows that NDCD is currently having issues. But so basically the issue, I'll scroll down here, like my app section here, there should be like 5 more listed. It has decided to eat most of the information on everybody's pages, which means I get to go through and do a rebuild. So to try and make sure this doesn't happen again, I'm looking at some different plugins. And I'm kind of liking this little tabbed way of laying everything out.
Okay.
So instead of having like the list like I did before where you could click and go straight to books or music or whatever they had on their thing,
you have separate tabs for each category.
Yep.
Hey, if it's stable, go for it.
But I also think it kind of looks a little cleaner that way, too.
Yeah.
That could just be me, but it seems like everything will work inside of the tabs, so I'm going to leave this for a day or two and make sure the system doesn't decide to just eat it like it did before.
Yeah.
So, but I think this might be the way that I end up kind of redoing everybody's pages, is using the tabs and
girl says the tab view
tabs
would
on
be
us better that way.
And Nicholas gets the idea, so
cool. Well, that'll probably be the way I go through and redo everybody's pages.
Hey,
I'll be right back.
Paul, I put another Al Jazeera post in private chat. So
yeah, I see. Yeah, I used to read Al Jazeera too. I haven't in a long time, but
Donna likes the tabs too.
Awesome.
I prefer Fresca. It has that grapefruit citrus thing going on that I really like.
There ain't enough booze in the world, John. There just ain't enough booze in the world.
Too much saccharin.
Yeah, that is one of the small problems with it. And they changed the formula, which I hate it when they don't stick. The worst evil ever inflicted on the country of the United States was high fructose corn syrup. Um, it's-
I will agree there.
Yep. And taking the cocaine out of the Coca-Cola. Damn it.
Don't know. Never had any with the cocaine in it,
that,
so I
you know,
couldn't
I'm
make a
upset
value
that
judgment
I'm
there.
upset that I never got to try it, but you know,
Well, I mean, when all of us were kids, they still had codeine and stuff in our cough syrup
yeah.
and alcohol.
Yeah. Turns
So-
out I'm allergic to that stuff.
And we're still alive. So that ought
Right.
to say something, you know.
Well, it wasn't for lack of trying. Carl's going to bed.
Have a good night, Carl.
Good night, Carl.
I can't remember his name. The guy who wrote Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, he had to write it twice.
Robert
he
Louis
was-
Stevenson.
Yeah, he was on cocaine when he wrote it. The first copy went in the fireplace, and he had to rewrite it from scratch the second time. And he did it in like 24 hours.
Who was the author that wrote a story that he didn't like, so he threw it in the trash, and his wife went out and rescued it?
Stephen King.
Stephen King, and it wound up being, you know, a bestseller.
It
Carrie
wound
was-
up being Christine.
It was Carrie. Stephen King's
Carrie?
breakout novel. Yeah, it was Carrie. Stephen King's breakout novel was Carrie. Tabby got it out of the trash. Stephen threw it away, and she dug it out of the trash and she read it, and she said, "You need to finish writing this." And so he did. Then he submitted it, and they offered him $200,000.
I'm trying to remember. There
That
was
was
a
his
famous famous artist, and I can't remember the guy's name offhand, but he was famous for a couple works of art. And turns out he'd actually made other paintings that he had never put it out to public, so like that. And guy dies, and as they're cleaning out his house, they find all these old sketches and stuff like that. And somebody threw all these old sketches into the trash. And somebody else who kind of, you know, oh, that's you know, you don't throw that stuff away, rescued all these sketches and started going through them and found sketches for some of the famous paintings he had sold, and apparently paintings that had never sold that they knew of. Turns out he had given them to friends as gifts. All these famous paintings.
Mhm.
But there was no what do they call he didn't sign the paintings, basically.
There was no provenance. for
Provenance, that's the word I'm looking for.
everybody to track down. Yeah.
There was no provenance until somebody pulled all these sketches out of the trash and found the sketches for the paintings that he had painted for people. And just, he didn't want to be a famous artist. He hated famous artists. He was like, they're the most, you know, self-important, pretentious pieces of crap that human society has ever created. I don't want to have anything to do with them. I just like painting. You know, it's like, and turns out, after they found these sketches and went to all the friends that had the paintings, turns out there's like $150 million worth of paintings rolling around.
Mm.
It's almost, and the last I read, and when I read the story, they said they estimate that if they were to take all these paintings, prove that they were his, and put them on the market, it's $250 million worth of paintings that this guy did. And he never wanted to be a famous painter.
There have been several things that I have done that I traded to someone for that month's rent money. or a fancy dinner with a date, enough money to pay for that or whatever.
He,
And
he
that's scattered all over the South.
apparently, when he first started painting, apparently some art person that had a gallery had wanted to get some of his paintings in the gallery. Well, all right, I guess I did. And apparently she pissed him off. Putting stuff in, and just like, you got to do this, you got to do that. And he's like, that's not what I'm, And he kept trying to tell her, I do this for fun. I'm not here to make your business thrive. And he hated her guts, and she kept trying to sell the stuff. So,
Yeah.
She would go around to everybody he'd given paintings to and try to buy them off, offer boatloads of money for the painting, and then try and turn around and sell it some more. And I don't know what he painted that got people's attention, but apparently he had a couple of pictures that she had in her gallery that got a lot of interest, and she wound up selling it for a great deal of money. And the people that bought it were like, "I'd like more of those."
Good night, Chris.
Good night, Chris.
Yeah, he's in the same boat I am. He has to keep moving around by helicopter so the cops can't find him.
I think, if I remember correctly, there was an artist, a painter in Memphis, Tennessee, that was like that when I was a kid. He did.
Now that you mentioned that, we may be thinking of the same person, but
and he didn't. It's like, no, it just.
Have you seen this quote that's come up? It comes up on the internet quite often. There's an artist, guerrilla artist known as Banksy.
Oh, yeah. I actually know people that know who he is.
And what's funny is he actually decided to go mainstream, start trying to sell his art. He tried to copyright some of his art.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of funny. The U.S. Patent Office wouldn't let him patent his own art, because apparently he had written something in the past about true art cannot be patented. And the patent office turned around and threw it back in his face.
Well, it wouldn't be a patent, though. It would be copyright. That's different. You can't patent.
He's British anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got a couple paintings in New Orleans or graffiti in New Orleans. And there are people that shops that take pictures of this graffiti and they sell it. And I go in and I say, you can't sell that. That's Banksy's. But there was.
He tried to copyright some of his art, but he wrote this thing that said copyright is for losers. And so far he's lost 2 trademark cases because of his quote.
Exit through this gift shop is sort of about Banksy, and it's about this guy who makes films, and it's really good. It's a really fun to watch. I've watched it a couple times. But if you
I'm going to post that article on Stupid O'Clock about the Banksy trademark battle. That's because I think that's just hilarious that he
printed.
Yes, you can fight City Hall until you need something from them.
He printed a bunch of money. He printed a bunch of money, and it was fake. He made it look fake, but it also looked real. And this was in the United Kingdom. And they got on roofs and were throwing boxes of this money. And then they had to hide for a while because they were looking for whoever made the money. It looked so real. I know. But yeah. Banksy's a character.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just
Oh, dear. Tried to copyright Dan Hallfield fan fiction to copyright as gnome-centric and dangerous.
If I'm going to copyright Dan Hollyfield, I go wear glasses. Okay, here we go. If I'm impersonating Dan Hollyfield, there we go.
Rob, you're going to have to quit reading over my shoulder while I'm writing stuff. I'm not even finished with that story yet. And yes, it is gnome-centric.
Wait a minute. For those of us who are not in the know, and I don't know why I'm not in the know, I've slept and drank since then. Who is Atomic Snack Bar? Give credit where credit is due.
Sterling Valentine Esquire, or R. Sterling Esquire. He has a fantastic YouTube channel where he covers all kinds of cheesy sci-fi movies and whatnot, all through the ages. And he is just as knowledgeable about early sci-fi movies as Skunk is about horror movies. And I would love to get the two of them together because they've got so much they could talk about. Oh. No, if you don't know about Atomic Snack Bar, look that up on YouTube. It's a rabbit hole you will thank me for having gone down. Believe me.
Okay. You got to remember, I pull con security. Rabbit holes usually involve mopping up vomit. Okay, just
for me, they usually involve a great night with no vomit involved.
Atomic Snack Bar YouTube. Probably. Hang on a minute. I'm going to turn the volume off so they don't offend you.
Forgotten more than you know. Oh, I doubt that seriously, Rob. I doubt that seriously. R. Sterling Esquire, the original Magnificent Bastard.
Okay. Wrong box. Okay. First things first. Yeah, I got to turn the volume back on so that people can hear. Second thing second. Atomic Snack Bar. I love the blonde hair, dark beard thing you got going on the YouTube channel. That's just awesome. I've actually, I am not vain enough to actually dye this crap. Okay, for two reasons. One, I'm just not that vain, and two, I can't afford hair dye. But
he's a bit younger than we are, John.
Ain't he though? Aren't they, half the planet's younger than we are? Maybe more.
It's more like 9/10 these days. But...
Well, no, I would. You're saying 10% of the planet's older than us? No, I think we're actually not quite that old. Okay.
Maybe you ain't.
Okay, and you're not 80 yet. Okay, you're not.
Yeah, officially, no. Okay. Depends on which birth certificate you look at.
I'd say 20 to 25% of the planet is older than you and me, Dan. Okay, that's just.
Radioactive chic. Okay.
That's a thing now, thanks to Chernobyl and Fukushima.
Oh, Rob, have you ever heard of Frank Zappa? I mean, there's an entire double album set called Chic Your Booty, which you might enjoy. There have been some.
It's Frank Zappa. You should enjoy it.
Well, yeah, but it's Frank Zappa. Some of it's a little risque for.
Yes. To quote the immortal Frank Zappa, "Don't go where the Huskies go, and don't you eat that yellow snow." Oh my God! I'm having acid flashbacks. Oh shit! Don't go where the Huskies go. Don't you eat that yellow snow. Don't go where.
I actually first heard that in the University of Georgia bookstore when I was a student buying textbooks at the time. That was my first introduction to Zappa.
Talk about karma. I have a friend from high school named Scott Mitchell. Scott Mitchell's from California. His family moved back out to Tennessee. He is the baby of the family. And he brought all this great music from California out to the area and introduced me to a lot of bands I'd never heard of.
Mm.
Oingo Boingo,
Oh, yeah.
Bow Wow Wow,
Mm-hmm.
Dead Kennedys, Misfit, just all the, and Frank Zappa. Okay. And he used to bring in all these cassette tapes. What, we're losing people. Oh no.
I have to
Yeah,
go.
we're talking about music instead of some gunshots
No,
in the
right
Middle
back.
East.
I gotta.
Get your butt back in here, loser. Okay. Anyway, where's Dawn? What did she go and do? What?
She's probably eating ice cream and wiping it off her blouse.
I ought to go get ice cream just for that comment. But anyway,
Hey, I need to go get some nacho cheese dip so I can spend the rest of the night trying to clean it out of my mustache.
wait a minute. Do that again, Dawn.
Nothing there.
I said there's plenty there, dear.
It's like that post I did on a stupid o'clock the other day about titties and doggos. Okay. Anyway,
That's never been my idea of a taco platter, but it is now.
Uh-oh.
oh, there's a hand in the picture. I still need to convince him to one night while you're on the show to slip an ice cube down your back while you're talking. You know,
Hey,
This is
Ted.
how, isn't this how yeah, go to the
pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Okay, that's a
Oh.
Anyway, this is how I know about Carrie. It's on writing. Stephen King.
Oh, yes, that is an excellent book.
I've read it-
Especially for anybody that is setting out to be a writer.
I've read it about 5 or 6 times now, so I'm probably due to read it again.
I'm going to tell my Stephen King story because we were coming back from Iraq. Okay, we were on the big charter plane coming back. We stopped in Bangor, Maine. Okay. And the plane had to be refueled and all that sort of fun stuff like that. So we're sitting around. I don't know if you've ever been to the airport in Bangor, Maine.
No.
Other than the people you meet there, it's not that exceptional in an airport. Okay. So we're all sitting around, nothing to do. We can't go into town or anything. You know, we just got to hang around the airport, wait for them to finish servicing the aircraft. So we're sitting there. Now, to say one thing, the veterans at, I guess you'd call it the, what do you call it? The American Legion there greeted us as we got off the plane. Thanked us for our service. That's very cool. So we're sitting around the plane. And of course, being in an airport, you're not allowed to smoke in the airport. We've been in a jet airliner for 5 hours. Everybody wants to go smoke. So they're all out front. I go out to check on my guys, see who's smoking. You know, turns out Stephen King is out in front of the airport with all these smokers talking to them. Apparently, he had come into the airport to book tickets or something for some flight he had to make. He just happened to be at the airport on business and was like talking to everybody. They're like, oh, yeah, it's Stephen King. That's good. So I'm like, that was my. So I go out there and I'm listening to him talk, and being the con guy that, you know, fanboy type person that I am, I'm going to go introduce myself to Stephen King. And about the time I get up there and he gets finished talking, and they're, you know, it gets to the point where I think, okay, I can go introduce myself to Stephen King because this is really cool. Because I've been listening to him talking and them talking back. So really cool stories. About the time I'm about to go introduce myself, all the National Guardsmen from the aircraft need to return to your aircraft as quickly as possible. Like now. And so everybody, and it turns out there was a storm front rolling in. So we were either going to get stuck at the airport for 12 hours or we had to leave now. Now, of course, being military, you're like, yeah, the civilian pilots are all scared and stuff like that. So we all start filing back on the airplane. And as we're getting onto this, they got the tunnel thing that goes out to the airplane so you can get on the airplane. They got big windows on the side. We're looking at it. You can see this storm rolling in from the east as we're getting onto the airliner. And it's like black coming in toward the airport. We're like, oh. So we all get in, sit down.
Maybe they're not being wimps about this.
And it's like, the last few people onto the plane haven't even gotten sat down yet. They're already pulling the thing back from the plane, closing the doors. And you hear the engines starting up. We're still buckling seatbelts and stuff. They're starting the engines, which if you've ever been on a commercial airliner, is like, what the hell? We got people still buckling seatbelts and sitting down and checking on equipment, stuff like that. And they're backing the airliner away from the airport, getting on the taxiway. And it's like, now when we landed, it was like, whoosh, and then, the nice cruise down the taxiway to get to the airport. They're leaving. Okay. This plane is moving down the taxiway so fast. It's like thump, 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 because they're hitting all those little grooves in the concrete. So planes don't normally do this on a taxiway. Okay. I'm going to pause my story while Dawn gets the ice cream phantom.
Thank you, Ted.
Thanks, Ted. Ted, I still want you to slip an ice cube down her back one day. It doesn't have to be today, just sometime within the next 3 months or so.
You don't live with them. You don't suffer the consequences.
No, because I would count that as John getting me back.
Yes.
But it has to be on camera.
It has to be on camera. That's the only problem. It would have to be, live. Yeah. So.
That's okay. That would be you getting me back, though. So then we would be even. No HallowCon shenanigans.
So to make a long story short, the plane gets out on the runway, takes off as quickly as possible, and we're heading down the East Coast toward Atlanta and Chattanooga and stuff like that. And literally as the plane's flying along, there's this huge storm front coming in from the east. And we're like, everybody on that side of the plane is like, ooh, shit. And it turns out it was actually one of the worst storms that had hit the Northeast in years. And the pilot actually flew out over the Atlantic Ocean to get away from it.
Oops.
Man.
We're sitting here, they got those screens that show you the plane's flight path. And it's headed down straight from Maine to Atlanta, basically, which is right over Washington, D.C. or something like that. But you see, as he's heading away from it, all of a sudden you see the plane headed like southeast toward the Atlantic Ocean to get away from this thing.
We're going to take this detour around Bermuda to get to Atlanta.
One of the nice things about a modern jet airliner is it does about 600 miles an hour, so you can outrun most storms. And one of the other nice things about it being a military charter flight is they can pretty much say where the hell they want to go. No, it's not like Delta Airlines where you have to go from point A to point B. They say, no, we're going to go out here for a little bit.
And Rob, I don't know if you have actually made the decision yet, but if you want to explore Discord and get into the green room on Friday nights, you are more than welcome.
Oh, that's on Discord now. That's why I haven't been seeing any updates for the green room.
Nobody talks here during the week.
Yeah, the Facebook did away with the rooms on Messenger, so we couldn't create the rooms anymore.
Hey, Carrie.
Hello.
I kept hoping somebody would talk to me in the Discord, but
Apparently when
shows up weekdays.
when Mark Zuckerberg invented Facebook, he wanted it so people could hook up on the weekends. Okay, it's supposed to be like a dating app sort of thing, and we turned it into cats and whiskey talk. So,
Turn it into cats, whiskey talk, and all sorts of data collection.
Well, that was the part of the dating app he wanted to keep secret. Yeah.
Occasionally you hear Russia threaten to nuke people, throw nuclear weapons at them and stuff like that. And one of the ones I loved was, one large nuclear device detonated over the United States would wipe out all your computer systems. And I'm like, what are you waiting for? Go ahead. Kill Facebook. See if we care. We'll go back to writing letters. It's like,
this is why I keep a hoard of vacuum tubes.
Yeah. What was it? Somebody wrote something the other day on Facebook about the price of stamps is going up. Okay, not 1 penny per stamp, some silly damn thing.
About 3 cents, I think.
And said, if you're going to buy stamps, buy them now, but go out buy pages of forever stamps because they have to accept them, even if the price goes up. Something like that. You're going to save yourself $2 by buying 1,000 stamps. But it's.
All right, I'm going to go down the hall and get myself some nacho cheese dip and whatnot while my wife is still awake, so that she knows that I am at least trying to eat, rather than starving to death until tomorrow.
All right, I got this until you got back.
It won't take long.
You only got 14 minutes, dude.
It won't take long.
Okay. Anyway, actually, he's got 12 minutes. Excuse me. See, I was talking about forever stamps and writing letters and stuff like that. I was reading something on the internet that's kind of interesting. So, how you got all these fact checkers that if you post something on YouTube, they come up with some fact checking thing. And it's like, that's a load of horseshit. And somebody put, I wish I could credit this guy for writing this post, but it says, from now on, he's going to be posting all of his Facebook comments in cursive. That way the fact checkers won't be able to read it. And I'm like, I can remember when they first said we're going to quit using cursive writing in school. Oh, that's cool. And because I hated cursive writing in school, even for signatures and crap. That's just what's the point in learning how to write it 2 different ways? Block lettering is so much neater than cursive, especially for those of us who can't do cursive worth a damn. My cursive writing looks like a seismograph during an earthquake.
Mine starts out really nice and then falls apart.
The only cursive writing I have actually ever done neatly is I learned how to forge John Hancock's signature from the Declaration of Independence. That's the only cursive I've ever done that looked worth a damn.
I learned how to do my mother's and father's signatures. Came in handy on
recording. Who hasn't tried?
I had this teacher.
All either not succeeded or not tried that.
I had this teacher in 5th grade named Mrs. Popp, P-O-P-P. Great lady. I loved her dearly. But she used to say, put your John Hancock on that. Okay. Which drove me nuts because my name was John. And I'm like, well, this was back in the days when we still had encyclopedias in the classroom. You had a whole set of, Encyclopedia Britannica. And so I went over and pulled the J or the H, can't remember, pulled it out and found John Hancock's signature on the Declaration of Independence in there. Took my tracing paper, and copied his signature, and then practiced John Hancock's signature over and over and over again. And so she said, "Put your John Hancock on this," and I did. Because that's how big of a smartass I really am. Back when I joined the military, they have this form and you had to fill out all the information on yourself as you're joining the military. Some of the recruiters all fill out this thing. On the very back, the last question they asked you was, what is something about yourself that you think the military needs to know? I said, right now, I am an incurable smartass. 6 months later, I'm in basic training. One of my drill sergeants asked me, "What are you, a smartass?" I go, "Yes, drill sergeant. It's in my contract." Now, him being a smartass took me to the company command post. Went into the company office, pulled my file, pulled my contract out. Says, "Show me where it says you're a smartass." So I went and flipped over that, found that page, flipped over the last question, said right there. It says they accepted me in the military after I filled out this form and they signed it. He looks at it. Goes, "Damn, it does say you're allowed to be a smartass." And it's funny. I've got the book over here with. I want to say his name is John. I know it ain't right. I want to say it's Staff Sergeant Johnson, but I know that's not right. It's something else. I have to go look it up in my yearbook over there. But and ever since then, that has been my funniest military joke. Is that I am officially a military smartass. So it's. Okay, I've done enough talking for the show. Somebody else do some goddamn talking.
Talking? What's that?
We're good listeners.
Tell funny stories and stuff like that. Because I even told my Stephen King story, and nobody's helping here. So.
Well,
I'm eating ice cream. I'm busy.
Okay, Dawn is excused for eating ice cream, but the rest of you guys need to come up with something.
My uncle, he was in the Army. Well, I think they all were. But one of my uncles. And had a particular picky drill sergeant and wanted always the barracks clean. And one time he came into this actually wound up in Reader's Digest. It's kind of funny. Somebody wrote about it and sent it to military humor thing. Drill sergeant goes in, inspects the barracks, finds a dead fly on the windowsill, and wrote the whole company up for keeping a zoo. So yeah, that it was funnier for some reason at some point. Tonight just didn't seem as funny as it used to. But
when I went through basic training at Fort Benning, Georgia, okay, they had 2 areas you could go through. So that was basically, if you were in the Army, if you weren't in some odd military unit, if you were in the infantry, you went to Fort Benning, Georgia. They had 2 units that did basic training back in those days. You had the old 1942 World War II issue Fort Harmony Church was the old one, but they just opened this brand new, super high tech barracks called Sand Hill. They had torn down the old barracks and put in this big high rise thing, and everybody called it the Sand Hilton because it was all new and shiny and pretty. I went to Harmony Church, so my barracks was like 100 meters from the actual church at Harmony Church.
Good night, Donna. Be safe.
Oh.
Good night, Donna.
It is almost that. Oh wait, it is that time. Darn.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, somebody who went to bed is keeping an eye on her.
There's so many green room comments I could make too with the grab your sock, Dawn.
Yeah, no kidding. It must be a happy
It
sock.
goes to show you how much of a control freak Joe Dog is. He's supposed to be in bed. His wife is going to be pissed because he's on his cell phone watching us.
Why do I always feel
Joe,
like
get some rest or we're gonna rat you out to Donna.
Really?
She's right there. He's ratting himself out. Yeah, right. Wait till I nod off the next time. Somebody will wake you up in the middle of the night. Hopefully at about 5 a.m.
Hey, okay, everybody, just for shits and giggles, text Joe at 5 a.m. in the morning or 3 a.m. in the morning. Whatever a.m. you like. Just, text him.
pick an AM, any AM.
Pick an a.m., any a.m. Okay.
I'll wait till midnight.
Wait a minute. Here's how we'll do it. Okay. John is 2, Dan is 3, Dawn is 4, Kiri is 5, Paul, you're number 6, and Joe, you got to text him at 7 in the morning. Okay.
Does Facebook Messenger count? Because I don't have his number.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, post his number. We'll all have it then.
it worked pretty good.
I remember the one from 4 years ago. Text old Joe at 33010.
588-2300
Empire.
Today.
Could be worse.
You scared him. He put it on D&D.
Call J.G. Wentworth.
877.
Okay, everybody starts texting Joe for the next 4 minutes.
If you wake Donna up, we might not be able to have a HallowCon because he'll be dead.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to be able to see y'all.
Well, if Chris runs HallowCon anyway, we don't need you.
Yeah, but it won't be the same. We can't prank Chris. It's more fun for us to
notice
prank
we're not
Joe.
giving Chris's phone number out.
Do not disturb kicks in 4 minutes. My first thought was, what does Dungeons and Dragons have to do with this?
Well, it is us. I'm sure. Okay, we have a ranger. We have an orc. I mean, come on. I won't mention who the halfling is.
What if I'm an orc halfling?
I could be Hagrid.
I think I could make a pretty good Tika if I tried.
Leroy Jenkins!
If you get the Tika comment, I'm very proud of you. If you don't,
Oh,
I'm trying to see if our Iran is glowing in the dark right now. So
play the Eddie vid again before High Flight. Okay. Well, since High Flight should have started about a minute ago, we will
that's
have.
probably a bright idea. Yeah.
Yep. I've got it.
Go ahead and hit the start thing. Don't make me come over there. I will turn this car around. I'm guessing I have to hit the end show button so that you can start the other show, and just nobody bothered to say anything. So, good night, everybody.
I have slit the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.
Did not get away with it. Fuck, 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 fuck.
I am not drunk.
Yes, you are.
I am not fucking drunk.
Can you tell the time?
Yes. I am not fucking drunk.